Welcome to Cos Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
When we last visited Planet Christmas, the Nutcrackers were at the height of their powers, but the tables are turning. A secret enemy has been manipulating the battle from behind the scenes, and now his plan for intergalactic domination is about to be put into effect. Our hero Garrett will encounter new friends and unlikely allies who might help him defeat the planet-conquering warlord, but there's no telling if they'll make it out alive. This 25-page third issue is fully illustrated by Raphael Sam, lettered by the talented Eric Hodson, and written by myself, Ryan Hawk. Back this book and enter the fantastical yet dangerous world of Bric-a-Brac.
And good evening, everybody. I am R.J. Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And boy, it's dark in here tonight, apparently. And I've got every light I own on. So maybe I just need to redirect them a little bit more or paint the walls white. That might work. We have a special tonight. We have 2 comic books on here. 3 creators, both of which are on their 3rd book, and we're trying to get them both pushed over a goal. They're coming up on their deadlines here. One of them a little bit closer than the other, but we're going to do our best to convince you to make that happen and push them over the goal. So please welcome with me tonight, not new to our channel by any means, Chris and Diana Tamulovich with the great Cyclopian. Hello.
Good evening.
And Ryan Hawk with Bric-a-Brac, also known as the War for Planet Christmas. Ryan, welcome.
Thanks again.
Oh man, so it's been a weird 24 hours here because I've gotten, you know how you get like a new app on your phone and it's like, oh, this is cool, oh, this is neat, and the next thing you know, it's like 17 hours have gone by and you're still on it. I've done that. I've got that Wombo.art app.
I was wondering about that, and I was going to ask you about it, but I didn't want to. I can't decide if I love it or hate it.
What is it? Interesting because I know what it's doing. And Ryan, if you're not familiar with it, it's a search engine basically, and you type in a phrase, and it goes out and it looks for images, and then it starts compositing them together and doing AI art in different styles.
Wow.
And some of it's like, don't like that at all. And then some of it is like, a computer made this.
That's
It's
what
like,
you've been
Now I
posting.
get it because
All
I thought
right.
you had some new artists that you were featuring.
Yeah. I didn't
I had
know.
no idea what you were posting. I was like, what are these exactly?
Thank you. Exactly.
yeah,
I'm
and it's like,
looking
I put
at
in hashtag, I put the phrase that I would enter, restore the Snyderverse or whatever. And those are the phrases I put in with spaces, not a hashtag. And it went out and it did that. And it's like, if you don't like it, you can change the style or say, generate a different one. And what I just found out after having seen like two really good ones that I liked, one for Critical Blast Logistics, which had this like spaceship thing, and the other one for Alice in Wonderland. I just found out that there's a button on there that says, "Oh, do you really like this print? You can get a 24 by 36 poster of it for $30." I'm like,
there you go.
Well, I have to admit, I thought Wampart was the name of the artist, and I thought you were just in love. And I'm like, some of these are really wow, but I don't know about that one. Like there was one or two like that.
I just put up one based on Arkham Asylum, and it's like it just built this house. I'm like, and it's glowing green windows. I'm like, oh yeah, nailed it first time. Just go with.
I can relate to that distractionary thing though. I just got my first Raspberry Pi, and it's an emulator unit, and I am just playing all the old games, just loving it.
Oh, there you go. And Ryan, one of the styles on there is festive, and you can tell that it's like got green triangle-y things with like little red and green dots on it. So it makes a little winter Santa Claus village kind of thing, and then tries to blend it in with whatever your phrase pulled up.
It's crazy. I'm gonna have to try that. That sounds fun.
Well, I want to hear about Bric-a-Brac and
Bric-a-Brac, not Bric-a-Brac.
Not frickin' frack. Those are two other guys.
Yeah.
No, not Bric-a-Brac. But I'm just trying to get us focused because I've heard you pitch it before, and I like the way you talk about your book. So I want Diana to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Do you want me to start Critical, or RJ? Do you want me to?
You may as well start it. Yeah, you've got a captive audience that's interested in hearing about it. So let me bring the page up.
Yeah, so we got some new pages and stuff too. So RJ hasn't seen a lot of them. So yeah, just maybe reload it one more time because I uploaded it.
That's what I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, so basically it's like the story, if you like the Rankin Bass specials, where you have like the Rudolphs and the Frosty the Snowmans and the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which RJ and I have bonded over, we like. And then you add that with this Star Wars aesthetic, and kind of like the war aspects of that book or that movie and that universe. It's really what this is. You kind of take these like Christmas characters and put them into a comic booky aesthetic, and kind of see what happens. And that's really what's going on. There's so many different characters. Some you may recognize, some that are completely new takes. So for example, we have like Good King Wenceslas from the song, but he's never really been, put into a Christmas feature or anything. He's never really been like, I guess, reimagined, if you will. And then we have like a reimagine of Jack Frost. And then we also have a complete reimagine of the Ghosts of Christmas Past, Present, and Future. Nutcrackers, we have, Father Christmas, Santa Claus kind of takes a back seat, and we focus on these characters from the Christmas lore that we all kind of know about, but like take a completely new spins on them. And it basically just focuses on this kid who's going through this massive adventure to find Father Christmas, who he thinks can stop this war, but he's kind of in over his head because there's more forces at work than he is aware of, this young boy. And it's really, really fun. It's a huge battle. It's a huge spanning adventure. And you get to meet a lot of interesting characters along the way. And the art is just beautiful. And it's one of the things that I love a lot. So,
Does the same artist drawing it do the colors, or is there a separate colorist?
Actually, so this there's two artists really involved. So the one is the interior artist, Raphael Sam. He does the colors. He did this page below here. But the covers are done by a guy named Tom Barton. But they're both very complementary. I would just say that Tom has like more thicker lines, and I think he uses light, he's really into lighting. Like he did this whole process GIF that I retweeted yesterday, and just shows you how detailed he goes with the lighting on some of the colors. Where Raphael is a little bit more vibrant, and as you can see with this page, especially it just had a happy mood. He manages to figure out like if a character, if there's a really emotional moment, he nails it, but he really also nails the happy, enthusiastic moments. And so, yeah, it's just really fun.
to work with.
Well, I love
both
his
these
work.
great artists.
But I had a feeling, and I don't know if I've heard you say it before, but I had a feeling the artist was doing the coloring too, because
He is. Yeah, the interior artist is doing
wonderful.
the colors. Yeah, it is. They're just really incredible talents, So it's just great to work with them.
That's awesome.
I like how you go to two very different moods using style of artwork. You got the whimsical here. I'm in the village. Look, we have gingerbread men and snow spiders.
Look, there's Christmas trees. Yay!
Yeah.
And then in the same one, you've got like, oh my gosh, there's a guy with a battle axe battling a sea monster and cutting. That's Father Christmas.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm. And I mean, those are from two different books. Like I kind of have explained this. It's like I feel like issue 1 is really like the start of the adventure, and people are kind of optimistic. Or issue 2 is like things get kind of serious. Issue 3 is definitely where there's the biggest battle. There's it's kind of like the Empire Strikes Back, maybe, if you will, of the entire thing, because it seems like nothing can be repaired. Like there's just such a huge battle that it doesn't seem like things can get back to normal ever again. There can never be Christmas again. So it's just it's kind of like that, where we kind of go through that whole journey, and that I think is also reflected in the colors and definitely the covers, 100% the covers, because obviously we have fire in both of the covers for this issue. So that's the variant and the print that everyone who backs a physical book will get. This is Good King Wenceslas, and then the one that was, with all the characters behind the fire, that's the main cover. And that, just kind of going with that intense feeling with this particular issue, because it is very, there's about 10 to 12 pages of battle, just straight up fighting. So it's fun. It's going to be fun.
I'm having fun hearing about it.
No, I'm looking at
These are
the
all
pictures.
your main characters too.
Sorry, what was that?
Can you tell everybody who your characters are on this cover, Ryan?
Yeah, so the main character, the little boy, is our main character. His name's Garrett, and he's next to his gingerbread friend, Marie. So she's kind of his confidant. She is older than him and more experienced, so she helps him through this planet. If you've read the last issue, though, they've had some disagreements, and that's a whole thing that we'll get into. Then Good King Wenceslas, we have the supposedly evil Nutcracker on the left, or the left-hand side, I guess, who is basically, for some reason, teaming up with the good guys. We're not really, in this cover, we're not really I'm not going to say why, but there's a certain reason why. And also Jack Frost behind them is this big brute who supposedly died, but somehow he's back. So, and then obviously behind them is the really, really bad guy who's kind of this warlord from a different planet who's basically just trying to prove to his friends that he can conquer a galaxy, and Planet Christmas just happens to be in this vicinity. And so he's going to take it out just like it's nothing, So that's kind of the conflict here. Yeah.
I have a question. What age group, or what is what is your targeted market like for age wise? And is it like a kid story or more?
Yeah, it's like a PG. It's like a PG. There's definitely some emotional moments. I would say it's like a Pixar movie. I think it can definitely be enjoyed by adults, and it tries to delve into these kinds of subjects like religion. There's with some characters there's a lot of different things going on, because you can't fully encompass Christmas if you don't talk about everything, so it's just like it's really fun. I would say that it never, although there's war, how Star Wars, it's kind of like there's war going on, but there's not going to show any gratuitous violence, or it's not like I guess Revenge of the Sith is
we're
kind of
in
an
the
outlier
process
there.
Listen, Chris is sitting here. We've got your campaign up and open, and he's showing me, like, how about this one? Yeah, that's good. So we're actually backing the book as we speak.
Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. I am such a huge fan of indie artists. Chris is the talent behind our book. He does everything. He'll talk a little bit about that. And I try really hard to market. That's why one of the reasons why we're here, because RJ is gracious and said, "Come on, you guys."
No, RJ was also desperate. I'm like, I have nobody scheduled for tonight.
Well, you saw my little hey, I don't know if it's fair or not, but maybe we could.
I almost did it last night, but I was like, for some reason, I was just like, I'm really tired tonight.
Yeah.
And I had
I
to
was
buy
exhausted
groceries.
last
So,
night. Yeah, I was totally exhausted as well. I have been running crazy with work and stuff. So, but we're here, and the story looks amazing,
Thank
Ryan.
you.
I like can't wait to read it. And
I
now,
have
when
to-
is
I have
it?
to
When is
switch
it
over because
due?
I don't have my login for Indiegogo on this
When is
account.
it coming out? February?
February, yes.
February.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
currently working on pages right now. So the goal is
Okay.
February. And obviously the
Okay.
print is done. So let Eric, our letterer, if you know Indie Vault, he is he's on Indie Vault and he's the letterer and he's super quick and an
Nice.
awesome guy. And so it should be done by
That's awesome.
February. Yeah.
Yay! That's awesome.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
And for everybody in the chat who is maybe seeing this for the first time and saying, "Oh, but it's the third issue," that featured tier is, that $30 tier, you get all 3 physical issues and digital, and the Good King Wenceslas print. Now, is that the alternate cover print?
Yes. Yeah, the one that I just shared. Yeah, the one that's
Oh, cool.
This one right here.
that one. Yes.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
How big is that print? The size yet?
Probably about the size of the cover, I would imagine. So I mean like 10 by.
Okay, it's like
10
an
by
8 by
6.
10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So yeah,
easily frameable. I get a lot of things that are like weird sizes, and I'm like going through the frames that are available. I'm like, all right, what am I going to put this in?
yeah. But yeah, he knocked that out of the park because I remember I was talking to you about the print, and I was like, "No, this is it." Yeah, because we have the knights below it, and then him. It's actually based on a Conan piece by Frank Frazetta. I think I was maybe talking to you about this. Like, it's based on the cover where he's on top of the skulls, and there's a woman sitting next to him who's like naked.
Oh my gosh.
So it's based on a Frank Frazetta piece. So kind of again, it's difficult to get characters that look like they're from puppets. Like from Rankin Bass shows, to look cool on a comic book. So you kind of have to like, I found that out very early on with the first cover because it's very simply just one character walking and it looked goofy sort of. So I realized with the second issue and I really kind of want to try to do homages instead with like comic books that are established and stuff like that. So that's what we did with this one. And the main cover, I think I said was a Jim Lee and it's just kind of trying to reference really great covers, and I'm not sure if everyone notices because they're a little different, but still kind of similar. So,
well, making him look like Rankin Bass, I don't know, because we were talking about AI art just a little bit ago. There's another art tool out there that some people are actually using to illustrate books with, where it's like, here's a human figure. I mean, and it's it starts out like a mannequin thing, and you start putting clothes on it, you shrink it, you expand, you change the dimensions however you want, but it's a 3D human figure. You can spin it around. You could probably make these things, squish down and look like Rankin Bass, stop motion puppet kind of things, and do like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Be easier than sculpting them.
maybe for the next trailer. I need to do that. Yeah,
that would be very
something
cool.
I need to do. Yeah.
Well, I know, Diana, you said you were tired yesterday from work, but you are actually also attending classes so that you can make this little crowdfunding thing into a real business. You're taking business classes to further the publishing.
I am in school at online in school, taking at least one course a semester because that's all I can handle with a job and with running the business here, and taking care of Chris. Throw that in.
Well, that's a full-time job, right?
Full-time job. We know this, right?
I'm getting hacked here.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So yeah, it's a very interesting position that I'm in because prior to doing this, I didn't even read comic books. I knew nothing about it. It looked like a kid book, and that was it. And then Chris decided he was going to start making them. And here we have it. As his wife, I try to help out the best I can, which is editing the book and what else?
Oh yeah, thank God she edits, because if you follow me at all on Twitter or Facebook, I typo constantly.
Yeah,
I'm a typo machine.
Yep.
And it like I put out video clips, and sometimes there'll be typos in those, and she watches them after I put them out, and she's like, and I'm like, it's meant to be that way. It's flavoring.
But even I think as a writer, and Ryan, you can probably relate to this. Like you're writing, it's always really nice to have somebody do like a beta read. You know what I mean? Like somebody like, read this and tell me if you're getting it, because I get it, because I'm the creator. So I think for Chris, I'm that person. Like I'm that reader to him. And we do have like some difficulties about some of his sentence structures or the way he wants to do certain word things. I'm like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. So then we call our daughter in, and she's like in her late 20s. Like,
Yeah, it
you
goes to
read
arbitration.
this, right? It goes
The sentence
literally,
goes to arbitration.
Yeah,
and,
really.
Yeah.
So we have like a whole network
But
of
no,
people
it's
helping out.
a good working thing for us. And with her getting more educated, she's already a college graduate and kind of brainy, but she's actually focusing
in a totally
on
different
editing
field.
and whatnot. Right.
It was in the clinical side.
Yes.
Clinical stuff.
Diana, did you know that your husband was a comic book nerd before he came and said, "I want to make comics"?
I did know that. I knew that he was an artist. Obviously, that was one of the things that he would do. He would draw, because I
would do napkins, typing paper.
Yeah, anything. He would draw.
Like
so I knew that he was immensely talented, not only with his art, videography. He makes incredible videos, not just what you see on our Kickstarters or Indiegogo, but he's been doing videos forever and writing. I knew I kind of met him as a writer. So
did you also
just went up
really
again.
roll?
Yep.
Yay.
Thank you, whoever did that. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So it is a team effort here at Hero Shack Press. It really is a team effort.
Well, it's a family effort too.
Yeah,
so.
and
we do benefit from that. Like, I'm sure Ryan has great relationship with all your creators, but it's so cool to roll out of bed and look at my editor and go, "Come on, you got to proofread it right now."
Or you're fired. You have no idea.
Oh, I fire her. Well, I haven't done it in a while now, but I used to fire her like at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've been working on my skill.
You were totally lost.
Yeah, exactly. But our character, right, the Great Cyclopian. First off, it's a character that Chris has been drawing and thinking about since he was 10.
Yeah,
and he's an old
been
dude
around
now.
Forever.
He's been old for about 45 years or so.
Well, this issue is kind of scary because I've turned it into a series, but this issue, believe it or not, doesn't focus on him primarily. He's major in it, but it's more about the side characters, Queen Sting, and the struggle that's rising up for issue 4.
Right.
So it was kind of fun to do because I've always done, when I have a main character, that's the main character. Obviously, in a series, you got to
add other characters.
And when you were talking about like your third issue, I can really relate. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what you mean when you have like 2 issues out and you're like, just hang on because the next issue is coming, because you don't know what readers really want, but you're like, where the big climax is, and you're like, just hang in there, one more issue, and I get it. It's totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chris, I know you always have to keep going back to this, but we do always have new viewers. Ryan's not seen the Great Cyclopian, so we need to take it back to the baseline and tell us who and what the Great Cyclopian is.
Mm-hmm. So the Great Cyclopian is an alien who crash landed in New Hampshire, which happens to be in the United States. And of course, the government took possession of said alien and raised it. It's a male, of course, but they raised him in a small isolated base, trained him up to be a super soldier of sorts. He has various superpowers in development, but he's not like he's not a Superman. He can't fly, even though he wears a Superman-like cape and kind of motif. That's because the government's playing him for public, reputation. They're trying to boost the morale of the country, and the country needs a hero. So they assigned this one-eyed alien to be that hero. He's unique because he has no mouth and no ears. So naturally he has to do ASL. He can't actually hear. So there's a lot of built-in weaknesses on that.
Right.
For instance, he's quite invulnerable if he sees the attack coming and kind of flexes up for it. But if you sneak up on him, he's pretty much just a big dude who can be taken down with a good baseball bat hit. So there's like weaknesses built in, because he's easy to sneak up on if he can't, if he can't hear you. Well, I wanted to do something like that because I wanted a character who could be overpowered, but still not be godlike. He has to be vulnerable, or else he's just another.
And I liked it because I think that our character is very relatable to people. sometimes superheroes or you can never die type of thing. And it's cool, it's great. But I also think there's room for a superhero that has some vulnerabilities as far as the audience being able to connect to them, especially young boys are like, he's about 19. So he's going through many things that a 19-year-old young man would
but
go
he's also
through.
quite sheltered, so it's
But he's very sheltered. He's deaf. He uses sign language. Obviously doesn't speak, but he's a very lovable character. And there's a lot of I think Ryan, you were saying too, like a lot of things that would go over a younger reader's head, but parents would get it. And I feel the same way with the Great Cyclopean series, that kids from PG and up, I'm looking at like maybe 12, 13 and up, even 10, depending on the
right.
kid.
The series is written very much like your old 80s comic books.
Yes, very much the style.
I
too.
sort of follow that same Comics Code Authority that is no longer active, just as a guideline. So when my characters cuss, it's in the fancy little typewriting symbols. When there's fighting, there's no real blood. There's going to be, black ink to kind of like the old Wolverine slashes. And that's just the way that I want to take this one. It's not to say that if an adult reads it, they're going to go, oh gosh, this is for kids. But an adult who's used to modern comics is going to go, oh, he used black for the blood there. You're going to know what's going on, especially if you've been around for 50 years.
And there is a lot of adult themes in it.
There are some surprises coming up, because I think kids know a lot more than adults want to give them credit for. It's not the 60s anymore.
They're very sophisticated.
And so
today.
we want to deal with some of those topics without necessarily putting political propaganda on it, because kids deal with real life topics all the time. What do they do when they find a gun? Well, we've all seen the public service announcements, but there's some very serious things that can happen. And or what happens if they stumble into somebody's stash of drugs, or all these little things that he's going to encounter as a 19-year-old,
right?
That will be relatable, but not written in a way that's going to be like G.I. Joe knowing is half the battle,
right?
He
doesn't know.
One of the things I like about it is, you sort of artistically, you artisted yourself into a corner by making the character have the disabilities that he has. And you work around that. And I'd like this page as an example, because no mouth, no nose, one eye. And yet you can tell exactly what he's thinking in all of these panels, because you're able to use that one eye and create expression around it. And I like also, we don't have to watch every single, I don't know ASL to save my life, but I'm just saying every single hand gesture and then a text box telling you what it is.
There is a panel where I actually have Plato the platypus sign out a sentence as best as I could draw it. But that's the only time I've ever done it. And that shows why, because it's like,
it's very,
and I'm not even doing the right symbols yet. So don't hit me. I'm still learning ASL and I'm terrible.
But I know the alphabet. I know the alphabet, and I can sing Jesus Loves Me. That's it.
I'm not even learning the alphabet yet. I'm learning like good morning and like the way like they'll stop it at a certain point to say good evening, and
and I like it because it stops like when the kids read it. I think it causes them to think like, wait, what? He can't hear and he doesn't have a mouth. Like, how does he communicate? And it's really cool. The big question to be is usually
to, how does he eat?
Yeah, how does he eat? That has not been disclosed. We have not revealed that.
Nope. Yes.
We're gonna hang on to that little secret for a bit longer.
But he can eat. He does eat, and
yes, he does eat.
But like, to give you an example of editing, you'll see Queen Sting there in the upper right-hand corner of the image there. She's wearing a mini skirt, and you can see like her leggings and stuff. Initially, that was a G-string.
I said no.
Exactly. And like, to me,
literally looked at it and I said, and I went back, I'm like, what book am I reading again? Because we have an adult series.
Yeah, I have an adult series too.
This isn't cluster fudge. This is
right. And in all honesty, I think in my mind, I forgot that, women in Cyclopian have to wear mini skirts and women in cluster fudge don't.
I'm thinking a 10-year-old little boy looking at her.
But in comics that you buy on the stands these days, that's not uncommon,
I know.
So I was like, not really thinking, but that's the editing process. And she said, no, you gotta.
You can always have.
He wants me to go.
Since you're since cluster fudge, your adult title, and Cyclopian your more all ages title exist in the same universe, you could always have a crossover villain come in and, like, torn up bra and G-string says, "Sorry, I'm late. I was fighting, Cluster Fudge," and put on like a knee-length dress and then be ready to go off into battle.
Well, fortunately, though, Cluster Fudge has a conclusion that he'll never walk into that exact world, but characters from that story will be intermingled into his universe. Yep. But like, you won't see a return to the Nightmare Realm for Cyclopian, for instance.
No. But some of the characters coming from the Cluster Fudge series will be found in the Cyclopian world. Specifically
Violet, just to give it away. She'll be advancing through
He
the
likes
series.
to do that.
Yes.
RJ likes to give away stuff. Don't give things away.
Sure. Give away the story. Give away the story.
No.
Both of you guys are doing T-shirts this time around. Ryan, I saw that they added, I don't know if they were here the last time.
Yeah, T-shirts. No one's grabbed them, but I want them. I made them last year, and I thought they were super cool. And so hopefully someone will buy one.
Yeah.
So
I saw people wearing them.
Yeah, these are my family. Yeah,
fan art.
That's us. And we're wearing the shirts, and on the back it has the logo too, so they're pretty cool. The long sleeves are nice, and I like white shirts. I know that they're pretty prone to damage, but I think that they look really good with the art, and so yeah.
And there's more art. I didn't scroll down far enough. I thought I was done with it.
Yeah, these are some fan arts. Just some really cool fan arts through the years. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Cool. You've got and one of the first two issues, I can't remember if it's one or two, you have a backup story that tells the story of Jack Frost. Because he wasn't always this big hulking golem.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I'm kind of excited. I can't wait to see what we bought.
You're gonna like it. Really, you will.
I have a question for you, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the name come from? Bric-a-Brac.
So there's a song in The Nightmare Before Christmas where basically Jack is trying to reconcile with I think it's after the town meeting or something. Or no, he actually just comes back from seeing Christmasville for the very first time and experiencing Christmas. And then he's in his lab and everyone's like, what is he doing up there? And in one of the songs he's talking about just Christmas junk. And he says that word Bric-a-Brac, and I was like, wow, that's such a great word. It sounds kind of Christmassy and I mean, I know that it kind of means its meaning is it means junk or just kind of a but in a way
stuff that you don't really need, but you have. It's bric-a-brac. I know that. I've heard my grandmother used to use that. I've got so much bric-a-brac around, and she's talking about all the little things she's collected that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that's a way, why
you're drawn to this in a particular way because
I'm drawn by the name.
In a way, it does describe kind of the way the story is told. Like I'm saying, we're grabbing from every kind of Christmas,
and that makes sense. It's like a potpourri of stuff.
Exactly. So that's kind of the idea. It kind of grew into that idea, and it was
I think that's awesome.
Fan art here, but I do. I love the tribute that was done to the Star Wars poster.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I can't wait for more fan art this time around. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to be
you've done right when people start, sending in fan art and pictures of themselves with
that's fun
with the comic.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to be on drawing
fan art yet.
Soon.
Well, what I do have, I have up on the wall. Yeah,
we should take some pictures and
I'll post it. I should post it, but I have 3 select pieces so far from 3 different artists. One of which is my son, but I'm very impressed with what he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a little bit. I think we're still growing to that point, but one day, I love seeing fan art. And to me, what I do for a living is I work around a lot of kids with computers. But whenever I see, I just freak over art talent. So when I see fan art, whether it's, from a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old, I get excited. I just very encouraging because I think everybody's got a little artist in them if they just push it out. I do.
I know you do.
I do. I think it's
Even
all
my
just,
stick figures.
yes. Yeah, I've told you that we could improve on that with some practice.
There you go.
But stick figures are so easy to animate. I used to draw stick figures in the corner of my textbooks on each page and just flip, and and you wouldn't even have to plan it. You just draw it different each time, and then it dances. Chris, why is it called Hero Shack?
I'm sorry.
Why is it called Hero Shack?
So Hero Shack was the first title that I started doing in 2019, and it just kind of stuck because I knew the name wasn't going to work as a title, but we liked it, so we LCC'd it as Hero Shack Press.
So we liked Hero Shack because we were thinking of the heroes that we were creating, and they're the kind of hero that you'd find like I think it was summertime when we came up with it, like, a little shack on the ocean, like on the beach. You go in, you might have a pina colada. They might go up. Like, that was when we were talking about.
Right.
That's
It's not like a mansion. It's far more relaxed. It's like a shack.
It's like a hunting cabin,
right,
only
yeah.
it's like a little beach shack. And we just like the
and
name.
It kind of fit the motif for what we were doing at the time. And now it's just kind of grown on us. I don't know what we would do. Like if somebody came along and said, hey, Universal owns that, give it back.
And another thing is, like, our office, like, we don't have a big professional studio. We're like a little mom and pop's operation. So it's not like we're walking into a huge animation studio to do this. So
this bedroom has actually hosted like 5 different people, and then it became my office.
Yes,
so.
Exactly. So that's where the name actually came from. Chris and I came up one summer evening as we were sitting on our deck talking about, so we're going to do this. What are we going to call it? And there we have it. And we just stuck with it. The name for the company.
And I don't think anybody thought I was really going to do it. I'm a kind of guy that has a lot of big dreams, and I've started doing stuff, and you get so far and then you drop it. But this has been like 3 years of constant comic book making.
It's hard work.
Well, for her it is. For
me,
it
is hard work. It's hard work to get yourself out there.
That part's hard, yeah.
That's what I mean. And even art, because you're always striving to do better. Even as a writer, you always want to do better, So it's just, I think as creators overall, right? Don't you guys, I know I do when I create stuff, I want to always up my game a little bit.
Not me. I look for ways to degrade.
But as far as our campaign goes, right? We've got only 3 tiers. They're pretty easy. The first tier is our PDF tier. $7. You can get all 3 issues, Great Cyclopian 1, 2, and 3 for $7 a PDF. You'll get that before Christmas, obviously. They're all done. They're ready to go. Once the campaign closes and I do all the other businessy stuff, we'll be sending those out. And then you have the second campaign, which is $10, the second tier rather.
Physical book.
The physical book. And then the third tier is $30, and it's all 3 physical copies of the Great Cyclopian.
Is there a 4th tier there? Yeah, there's the Lorenzo tier.
And then we have...
The Lorenzo tier is double of everything, because when Lorenzo orders from us...
Did we have a Lorenzo tier on this one?
Yes, it's down on the bottom. He orders 2 copies of everything, 1 to read and 1 to collect, so...
Mine is not showing this, but then again, I think
it's not.
Oh, it's not there?
No, we didn't do a Lorenzo tier.
I thought we did.
No, we did not.
Well, mine is messed up because I'm showing the what I pledged.
Yes.
So
no,
I'm always like, this collection. Run it.
Well, and we also, we put the T-shirts as add-ons. I think that's a bad idea because people don't really look at the add-ons, I think, when they're backing.
Right.
So, we're experimenting still.
I'm almost thinking that at some point we will do a tier with a book and a T-shirt. Like, I think that way maybe we can get
not
the
in
T-shirts.
this campaign.
No,
this
not in this
campaign's only 3 days to go.
Yeah,
babe.
Let's talk about that. 3 days left of
3
this.
days.
Come on, we need a little bit of help.
So what happened here basically was we got caught up in December.
Yep.
And did not promote the first 2 weeks worth of much of anything.
Yeah.
So we're in a mad rush to get to the end. I think we're going to make it. We had the add-on for the extra book.
Yes, I added the add-on for the extra book.
We need to go back to a Lorenzo tier. I missed that. I love explaining it too when we go to promote the book and they look at the tiers. What's the Lorenzo tier? It has a ring to it.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, this is your character that you're newly introducing this issue called Plato the Platypus. Who was
that's him
a guy who was he's not just like a platypus. He's a dude who had a horrible government experiment done to him.
Yes.
Yes,
And this is
he was
one.
mutated. Just to correct you, though, it wasn't government. He was actually kind of private science. But yeah, he started to, and I may have told you government at some point, but yeah, the
Or I'm just making it up.
Okay, good, because I don't know if I told you that. I might have, because
He brundled himself.
Until I put his origin to print, I feel like it's flexible. So sometimes, like poor Diana, we'll have a whole story fleshed out, and she'll go to read it, and she's like, "What happened here?" And I'm like, "Keep reading. I changed it."
But this is just him in sequence going through the sign language as he's communicating.
Yes. So if Chris was to literally draw the whole book as sign language, it would be very
180 pages.
Yeah, well, and it would be boring because if you don't read sign language, you get because I still put a caption in the lettering so people could, of course, follow along. But I was like, when I did that one panel, which is across one page, I was like, thank goodness I'm not doing this every
he
single...
did. He said, I'm not going to do
Yeah, this would be crazy.
Yeah, it would be too
much.
much.
But on the other hand, it's fun to learn sign language that way by drawing it and trying to get it right. So
absolutely,
I'll include that every once in a while to remind people, I suppose. When they do dialogue, you'll notice a lot of times their hands will be in a certain position. And that's why I'm learning the symbol side of the language where they're doing gestures, because I can draw a hand gesture of one of the words in the dialogue and kind of imagine like maybe they're watching a read-along book, and that's the particular picture we stopped on, and he was signing hello or whatever the word is that I picked out of the sentence.
Yeah. So Chris, you guys have put out
too many books.
A lot of books. Ryan, you put out one book a year, but you're focused on the singular title.
Yeah, for right now, yeah.
That's okay. It's a good way to do it.
We're actually thinking about slowing down because I've been doing 4 to 5 books a year.
Wow.
And
too much.
Yeah, but it seems like that's a better way to go, to extend your time, build your campaign, work on your craft.
Exactly. I think it's smart that you're only doing, what you're doing at this point, because it'll give you ample time to really build your campaign up, do a lot of, promotional and marketing of your book before you launch your
But
campaign.
Ryan, does it drive you crazy to wait? Because for me, that's the urge to like, I love just going and going and going.
Yeah, the thing is, it's really consuming, like when you're really trying to get those 30 days, just really trying to push, and it's a big expense too. Like one of the reasons why I just turned 23, so I'm like, I just started, like, I really just started a real job, so one of the things I like as a real estate agent, so I'm really excited to like be able to maybe fund more books on the side. So maybe, I mean, it's just all of my extra funds have been put into this one campaign. This is really all I can afford. As you know, it's like a huge expense to do it. So I would eventually love to be able to do more, but I just don't have the resources to, it's just, especially with these artists, and I don't do the art on my own, and it's just having a big team. Like, you have to make sure that you're paying them well enough for their, and it's just, it takes time and so
it's money, time and money.
Well, yeah, comics have become kind of like our Harley Davidson or our boat or whatever other people our age do. We're like doing our comics instead.
Right. I mean, it's fun though, because you're creating something that other people can enjoy. It's not just like something for yourself. It's something that
exactly.
a lot of you can invite more people to enjoy, and it's kind of unlimited what you can do. So,
So do you work on it all year long, or is it like, okay, I'm taking like so many months off, and now it's time to start, gearing up for the next Bric-a-Brac chapter?
Really, it took me about a month to just write the whole issue of number 3. I mean, I have it all out in my head where we're going, but no, it didn't take that long at all. And it is really just trying to get all the funds gathered.
Yeah,
and
you have artists that you're paying.
Right,
you have
exactly.
artists that you have to pay. So that's an additional expense that Chris and I don't have.
Right. And also the theme of the book also, I mean, the reason why we launch in December and November is because it's a Christmas themed book. And I've tried, and RJ knows this, I've tried, launching it in the summer and obviously there was no
thinking exactly.
Right. So there's also that element with this particular book. If it was another one, I might have tried, I might, launch it whenever. I might launch it earlier than the next year, but,
Right.
Well, Christmas is a tough time. We found that out this campaign. In fact, I remember this time last year, I didn't run a campaign. I did the book as a free giveaway because I did a book for December as well. But yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot more competition in December for the reader's dollar than there is
independent.
same February.
Right.
Yeah,
which makes it hard to do a Christmas book because it's got to come out at that time to catch people in the right frame of mind, and it's also coming out at a time when they're not looking to fund books for February or March. They're looking to get something that's am I going to get this in the next 3 weeks to put under the tree in time?
Exactly. Right. It's that balance. It's finding that balance. But, I believe, as you continue to build your reader audience, as you get more and more fans, they're going to be on the lookout for that. You know what I mean? Like, I already know, like, once we get we've ordered quite a few books from other indie artists. And so for me, it's like, I'm looking for the second book that artist is going to do already because I've enjoyed the first issue. So the same thing will happen with you and with us as we build our readership and our fan base grows. Obviously we're going to have fans that are looking for the things that we're doing, and that's always a really cool thing. I find
what I find cool about that is that you weren't into comic books until Chris decided to start drawing them, and now you're looking for comic books because you're enjoying them because you sat down to read them.
100%. He once in a while he'll take me to a comic book store and, all right, you need to buy yourself a comic. Like, oh my God, where am I gonna? So I just start as a new comic book reader, I always the cover draws me, and normally the title, and then I'll read the back or whatever the story is about, and that's how I'll get it.
That's how we do it too.
Is that how you guys do it too?
Yeah,
really?
We look at the title.
Is that how
cover.
real comic book readers do it? Because I'm just like a fake comic book reader.
It's amazing watching her though, because like you and I might be drawn to the X-Men, or we might be drawn to Justice League. Diana's over there looking at the one that says The Creep in the Closet or something like that. And there'll be this really weird art. And she's like, I want this one. And it's a great book, but like, it's something that I normally wouldn't gravitate to. So she's really made our collection more wide spectrum than I would have done.
He's the superhero guy.
Yeah, that's my first book. I go for the superhero
boring, book. Not really my thing. I enjoy it when I'm with you. But I like different kinds of stories.
And in a sense, that's helped me open up and grow a little bit as a creator because I read everything that comes before my eyes. I'm like, oh, it's a comic. There's balloons.
And it's also helped me as his editor because now that I'm looking at his work and comparing to others, in comparison to other books, I'm like getting a better understanding because the only comic book I'd ever read were his. I mean, he has a whole shelf of them. I never read them because it's not my thing. But now it's because of the business we have. I really need to if I want us to be successful. So I have stretched myself. I don't think I'm no longer called a noob. Am I still a noob?
No, you're still a normie though.
A normie. That's what it is.
Now, Chris, this is where you've got to offer some guidance here because the last thing you want Diana doing is picking up a book by Brian Michael Bendis and then telling you that you're not writing enough words in the story.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, she knows all about word walls and will smash them down when I do one.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, too many words. You can't even see the art.
You
don't need to say this over here. Like, I go through it. And that's one of the things that I really dig into. I love editing. And so I do.
It's almost like a sadistic pleasure, She's like, you really don't need to say this. I'm cutting it. Please don't go. No, it's gone. It's gone.
Is there like a twinkle in her eye when she pulls the cap off the red pen now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's like a little whoosh in the air as
No, not at all, you guys.
Okay, so both of you guys have a continuing adventure here. Even though they're episodic installments, let's talk about the length of each arc and where's a good point to say, okay, this is the trade paperback, because everyone goes, to the trade paperback eventually, or even a hardback, because Bric-a-Brac, I think, would be well served to be offered up in a hardcover when it's all done. Yeah. Nice little coffee table kind of edition.
That would be
maybe
really
even that coffee table sized edition. So Ryan, we'll start with you. Where's the arc, the best arc cutoff, even if it's not the end of the story, but the best? Here's a good volume.
It's going to be with the next issue. As I said, this one is like really all out war, and I would say the next one is the resolution. Yeah, so I would say that that's where this would kind of fit. The arc is going to finish, and in continuation with the series, we might change tone. So like obviously this one is very Star Wars inspired, but I'd like to see maybe what would happen if we did like an Indiana Jones type adventure, or that's kind of not as big of a scope and there's not as many characters involved, or maybe if we had some kind of cowboy story, or maybe I don't know. There's a number of things we could do. Maybe like a strictly sci-fi story, or just a strictly fantasy. I don't know. There's just so many different things. But for this particular arc, it's only going to be 4. I think arcs are good because if you just have a continuing series, I don't know. I feel like there's no real jumping on point. It's hard to like, and it's good to make trades too. So like to have the collection. So the collection, hopefully that'll be funding maybe next year or the year after will be of the 4 issues. And so it'll be really fun.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you can tell us this or not, but when you say that, number 4 is a resolution, are you talking about like this particular arc, or does the ongoing story still have a missing Father Christmas and the search continues?
No, there's definitely going to be some like most of the conflicts that have been brought up will be completely resolved. But yeah, there are going to be some luring issues that will go on. But the next arcs will be several years in the future. That's kind of my thing. It's going to be like where our main character is older, and maybe
Garrett's going to get bigger.
Kid in town, and maybe he has more of like a larger role in the planet, and instead of just being some kid, he's actually maybe there's a political system. Who knows? So obviously
the golden child, he's the lost prince. It's
right. The reconstruction of this planet, it'll be kind of interesting. So
we did talk before, and you did say that there is, Wenceslas is looking for a Messiah.
That's true. Yeah, he is. Yeah. So again, trying to talk about that religious aspect of Christmas too. You want to make sure that you don't. I think that too many Christmas movies these days don't recognize that. I mean, that's a whole argument within itself. But like, if we're really trying to be true to the Rankin Bass, there was Jesus in the Rankin Bass universe. With Esther the donkey,
Nestor the long-eared donkey, little drummer boy,
and then the little drummer boy, and so I mean it's definitely a thing. And if we're trying to make a an ode to those great movies, and also just in Christmas in general, I think it's great to have a character like that. So but yeah, there's so many characters that are going to continue on, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
So Chris, where does your arc go and break off for the impending trade?
Well, you mentioned trade. Yeah, well, what we've done is, what I've done, and this may change as my editor gets more involved, is I've put together yearly volumes. So I have like 2019, 2020, and I've been thinking about just doing a 2021, which means everything I did for the year I put together. The problem is that would be mixing Cyclopian and Clusterfudge.
I know, yeah.
So there's
I'm already
got to
going
be something else happening there. So obviously Clusterfudge will be its own when it's done. 4 issues, 3 issues. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Depends on what I can get away with. I was going to do it as one whole volume, but they wanted it separated. Cyclopian, his story arc is going to go basically, not to give away too much in the story, but until he breaks off from the government. So he's going to go through a little bit of a growth period. It's probably going to be about 8 issues long. So in his case, especially since we're going down to a 24-page format, it'll probably be like the first 8 issues, and then going from there. But I appreciate what Ryan says. It's hard with a series to have like a jumping on point.
Right.
And I almost feel like you have to sort of abandon that and just focus on like a soap opera sense or a serial where you have a main story that goes multiple arcs, but then you have little stories in between that can begin and end in 1 or 2 issues. Like you can't let those stories go too long, like, so the villain of the month type logic, but meanwhile, there's something else happening. Very much like most of the Marvel books I read when I was growing up. Like Spider-Man was famous for always having a new villain every month, but yet he's struggling with his relationship with Mary Jane, or, JJ wants him to get more photos, and it would be a long, silly arc that would run in the background that would draw you
Chris
in.
Claremont's X-Men had, was like issues and issues and issues long of this soap opera But then again, it was still, you could pick up any issue and get into it and say, man, there's stuff happening. I don't know I don't know what's up between these guys, but you'll figure it out as you go along, and you stick to the, and you get into the one story.
Whatever was happening was good enough that you were like, now I want to know why Colossus is from Russia, or why Nightcrawler is like speaking in a German accent, even though he never flushes that out in that particular issue. All of a sudden you're drawn in and you're like, I got to find out more.
Mm-hmm.
So
why do Wolverine and Cyclops hate each other every time Jean comes in the room?
Yeah, well, I think we know the answer now. Marvel kind of played that out to a weird extent, though. So I didn't know it was going there.
I don't even know that it has. I still believe that the real X-Men
great relationship now. I thought that that was kind of a development in the last few years.
Yeah, right? there's the talk of a three-way relationship with him now.
Yeah, whatever.
My personal opinion. They've been on a Shi'ar spaceship since 2015 in suspended animation, and these are Skrulls that have taken their place.
Right.
Which is the only explanation for why they're all acting like villains now.
But
that's the whole other show.
What was it? The House of X. I thought some of the stuff that's been coming out was pretty good, though. Some of the X-Men stuff recently has been pretty decent, I thought.
They get a lot of nice high concept ideas, and then in the trenches they'll blow stuff up.
Right.
But
I think it's a general inconsistency though. That's all. It's the editorial stuff.
Yeah, the editor. Well, or the lack of it. So we've reached the top of the hour. We've got both campaigns have had some progress on them. I'm happy to report. So thank you folks in the chat for making that happen. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Ryan, you've got 18 days left. 1/3 of the way there, roughly.
Yep.
Yes.
Confidence level high.
It's high. Yeah. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be on, I think, about 4 shows tomorrow. So I think, just trying to hustle and try to get the word out. That's all I can do. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah. You've been on Bancroft already, right?
Yeah. And tomorrow I'm going to be on Gabe's show. And I think Pop XP, I think I have my own thing, I guess. He said I'm the only guest. So that'll be cool.
Is that comic related madness?
No, I was on him already.
Okay.
Yeah, Pop XP is Billy Tucci and Niles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'll be on their show tomorrow night at 9:30, and 9:30, and I'm going to be at Gabe's. I think at noon or something like that. I think I'm on another show too. There's 3 or 4 tomorrow. So anyway, it'll be.
You're talking about Gabe Altaib?
Yep.
Yeah, I got to get him on the show.
Do you have a website for this, or is it all tied into your Indiegogo?
For the links,
for Bric-a-Brac, is it all in Indiegogo, or do you have a website for Bric-a-Brac?
No, I don't. No, it's just on Indiegogo. Yeah, I probably should.
Okay, that's what I'll be sharing then.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I probably should have a website. Maybe this time around I will get one, or by the time the trade comes out, so that people can just order it through the website or through Amazon.
This thing is going to blow up on you. I'm not trying to blow smoke at you, but I could see this becoming like a Christmas animated feature.
Yeah.
Netflix live adaptation,
very cool.
I know I said the bad word Netflix.
Don't curse him with that.
Yeah, they'll make it
Chris,
still spend the money.
But I could see this growing into something really wonderful.
Yeah,
it's really good.
My goal is just to have it be a special book that kids get their parents to read to them, around Christmas time, and hopefully if I can make that a bigger thing, it would be great, because it's just something that's lived in my mind forever. I've always wanted to tell this story, and it's just great that people are receptive about it and they want it. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Chris, Diana, a lot less time than 18 days.
Yeah, we only have 3 days, but I am excited because our goal is only 500.
Yep.
We've got all sorts of little things planned. Friday night, a very special thing. That's awesome. The last night.
Friday night, we're starting a show at midnight.
Because it closes officially at what? Saturday, 7:30?
Saturday at 7:30 in the morning. I don't even know how, and ours is on Kickstarter. I have no idea how we got that time.
I do.
I really don't. I'm like, who closes the show? So we've had to get a little creative. So Chris, we have our show tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 8:30. And We'll do some more promoting there. And then we're going to do an all-nighter on Friday, or he is, to stay up until the show closes.
Yeah,
Is
Crash
that-
or Succeed will be up until the thing closes.
He means him.
Yeah, but I'm excited because I know how countdowns go. I know who's coming. I know I have some ideas. I think it's going to go well. It's only $500. I don't want to sound ungrateful or dismissive, but we can make that mark. I think the problem is we've been releasing books so quick that people don't realize there's a whole nother campaign.
And it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people, listen, if you're looking for that last minute Christmas gift under $10, buy the PDFs. It'll be in your mailbox and you can share it with your person that you bought it for.
Just wrap a computer up, and when they open it, they can see the
print out a little
PDFs.
thing, or I don't know. You
Put
can
it on a
creative.
stick. Put it in a stock. Yeah.
So that's my spiel. It's like you're looking for a last minute.
Hey, I like what Matt C is
We
saying.
are not shaving his hair,
we
Matt.
could. I still I haven't.
Guys, it's not long enough to
Well,
shave.
it's not long enough to donate, so
No.
we should probably wait.
We gotta wait
Yeah.
till it's-
Which, by the way, Ryan, he did for his first book. He had much longer Samson-like hair, and they
Wow.
It
shaved
was
it
like
off.
longer than this, longer than my hair.
That was in
Anyway,
February, and it's already come back pretty good. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think by
it's a year
sometime
ago.
next year, maybe.
I'm
Wow.
actually toying with the format, and I told some of you about this. I don't know, Diane, if you got the word on it, but I want Sunday to try to do this if I can get some guests to come on and bring their books. A format called "Sing for Your Supper," where we'll just have a handful of comics creator guests on talking about their books, just kind of chewing the fat while their books are there and available. And whenever somebody in the chat pledges toward a book and says in the chat, "Hey, I am backer number this," that backer gets to pick a song for that creator to do karaoke.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea.
Isn't that awesome? I love it.
So,
Wait.
If we get involved, can I pawn the singing off on her?
Well, yeah,
Do we have
you're a
to do that?
team. You're a team there. So
Would
yes,
we have to
Diana
do-
can do the singing if you wanted.
We
I
could
got
do
the idea
duets.
from Backer Shots actually, because that's
love
the Indie Volt thing that gets done there,
Yeah.
and they have the ladies hosting it, and every time somebody backs the project, everybody has
Yes.
to take a shot, and of course,
Yeah.
it's like throwing money to watch women get drunk, which is a genius
Exactly.
plan for marketing a book, I think.
I love it.
So sing for
Hey,
your
Ryan,
supper, I think, is
you're
going
gonna
to
get
be
on
what
that
we're going to
show.
do.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And Pops, you're coming in right here at the tail end, so you watch the last 5 minutes over again, so you can hear about "Sing for Your Supper" because you're gonna like that.
Yeah,
and-
I think so.
And there's so many karaoke streams out there in the comics crowdfunding world. I've been on the Global Frequency.
Yeah.
Marmalade made his singing debut there, singing the Rainbow Connection, long before he made his first music video.
That's awesome.
So he may be involved in that program at some point as well. Top of the hour, Chris,
Yep.
Diana, Ryan, thank you all for coming on the show here tonight to talk about your books. Pulling for you, all of you, to hit that goal before your deadlines. Do everything I can to make that happen. Anything,
And Ryan, if
anything
we can
that
help
you
in
didn't
any way,
talk
let
about
us
the book
know.
that people need to know.
Oh yeah. Thanks
Right,
for back.
right,
I
right.
back you guys too, and I really appreciate.
Thank you.
I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
you guys. Doing that for me. And yeah, just to share, as everyone knows, shares help. Shares help.
Share and
the
talk
most.
about it. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes, I can't ask you to like the video because I can't control what you like, but if you'll please share it so that your friends can see these campaigns
Right.
and make up their own minds. Maybe they'll want to back it. You have friends I don't have. Help
Yeah.
more people see the video. Yes, we're monetized and that helps that, but it's really like about $3
That's all right.
a year to do that. It's more
Right.
important that the books get backed and get in front of people.
Exactly.
So that's why we're here.
Exactly.
And with that, thank you so much to the chat. We appreciate you being here. We don't have a show without you. And as always, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.
Good night.